Started on the tile project, and there will be people who are going to be able to walk in tomorrow morning and get started because you have your drawings all ready to go. I copied my working drawing for this tile that I did a couple years ago. What you're going to have when you get started is your working drawing, your full-size drawing, the board that you took outside to scrub, tools. You're going to need a rolling pin, a basket of clay tools. I brought this over to show a little bit about stamping letters, and a chunk of clay. This is all wedged and ready to go. When you have a big piece of clay on your board, the first thing you're going to do is smack it down. And then you're going to flip it over and smack it some more. That gets it started to get it flattened. And then we have rolling pins. And you are going to use the rolling pins to get it even flatter. Get down off my chair. This part is physics. If you want your clay to get bigger and flatter, you're going to roll it the direction you want it to go. Notice, I'm going to start in the middle and roll out. Start in the middle and roll out. If I put my rolling pin down here and just go back and forth, my clay is going to go back and forth. Start in the middle and roll out. You want this piece of clay to be about as thick as your pinky. About. That's your measurement. And I gave myself a nice big piece of clay so I can fit my full-size drawing on there. This is going to be my base, like that. In the clay bins, the tool bins, you're going to find different kinds of tools that are good for cutting. That corner's not quite on there. I'm going to whack that off. You have choices with your scraps. You did all your practice wedging yesterday, so you know how to wedge and get the air bubbles out. And we'll be practicing that the next few weeks anyway. But sometimes when you have a scrap, you might want to use it to cut. I have some flat pieces on here. I have some pieces on my sketch that I want to translate into clay. If I wanted to, I want to cut that house and put it onto my tile. I can flatten that out just a little bit more. Put my working drawing on here. This is not a drawing that's going to go out in the hallway. And then I can trace. I can trace with a pencil, I can trace with a needle tool, and I can get that stuff all cut out. It's there, it made an indentation. And in my sketch, I have a heart in the middle. I can decide if I'm going to cut that heart out or if I want that heart to pop out. I might not make up my mind right yet. I'm going to show you a little bit about slipping and scoring to make things stay together. You don't dry and fall apart. We have little cut-up combs. You're going to rough up that clay. Rough up the clay where it's going to stick. And you use slip. Slip is liquid clay. It's like Elmer's glue for clay. Usually there's brushes in there, but I don't mind using my fingers. Make sure you fill in all of those little scratch marks so you don't make air bubbles. And wiggle it down a little bit to get a good connection. Now the rest of my scraps, I might not want to cut out a piece out of them. This is the best way to stack them up so you don't get air bubbles. One scrap down, put your other scrap on there, pat it as it goes across, and that way you're pushing the air out as you're layering them up. It'll give you less work. And then, I'm just going to cut that and do it again one more time. It's going to be a lot easier to wedge. I won't have to wedge it so many times to get the air bubbles out. There will be a lot of you who get about this far. Tomorrow you'll get stuff cut out. You'll be slipping and scoring and making attachments. Let's see how I did on that. Yay! show a little bit about stamping because somebody asked about letters. We have a whole bunch of letter stamps in the art department. So if you wanted to press letters into your tile, you can do that. You can write words. It takes a little bit of time. You can write with a pencil. You can cut the letters out, slip and score them on. I have little boards for you guys. Mr. Ricky, would you go get me 2 Walmart bags, please?
I sure will.
Thank you. And the little boards help keep your project flat when you have it stored. Almost remembered everything. Thank you. And you're going to double bag it. Take this whole thing, slide it in the Walmart bag, tuck it under. When people tie knots, they actually make gaps so the air gets through. Put it in one direction and then put it in the other direction. And then you will have to use a marker and write your name on that bag before you put it up on one of the shelves. Because we're going to have 20 projects wrapped up in Walmart bags and they all look the same. And we don't want to have everybody going, oh, is that one mine? Is that one mine? Put your name on it and track it where you stored it.